A very good evening to you all. Welcome to the English News Bulletin. You absolutely chose right to join us here, and here is what is coming up tonight. President Kagame reaffirms Rwanda's commitment to deepening ties with Indonesia at Indonesia-Africa Summit. Rwanda tops Africa and ranks 41st globally in Rule of Law Index, achievement highlighted at 2024-2025 judicial launch. On the international scene, the African Partners Media event, organized by the China Media Group, was held in Beijing over the weekend. My name is Olive Nete. It's always a pleasure to have your company. Now, welcome to the news in details. President Paul Kagame emphasized Rwanda's commitment to strengthening relations and enhancing development cooperation with Indonesia during the ongoing Indonesia-Africa Summit being held in Indonesia. Adam Squizera starts us off tonight.
On the first day of the Indonesia-Africa Summit, President Paul Kagame acknowledged the progress made in relations between Africa and Asia, but emphasized that there is still more work to be done to ensure the continued progress of the citizens on both continents. President Paul Kagame highlighted that the continued development of Africa and Asia should focus on harnessing the abundant natural resources that both Indonesia and Africa possess. In particular, he believes that utilizing these resources effectively could play a crucial role in creating jobs for many people across both continents.
We are certainly stronger now than we were at that time, but we still have not made the most of what we can do by working closely together as Africa and Asia, and in particular, Indonesia. Let me give 3 examples of how we can foster more strategic collaboration. First, Indonesia and Africa are blessed with the critical raw materials required to transition the world to sustainable energy. We need to share experiences to ensure that the gains from this historic opportunity benefit our people in the form of new jobs in more complex manufacturing value chains.
President Kagame also pointed out that Rwanda is ready to welcome business and investment activities from Indonesia.
See Indonesia leading the way in technology, education, and innovative business models. Yet, relatively few Indonesian companies are active in Africa, and the opportunities in Indonesia are also relatively unknown to Africa's private sector. This should change. Rwanda is open for business, and we extend a warm welcome to investors and entrepreneurs from Indonesia.
The head of state also emphasized the continent's commitment to strengthening relations and enhancing development cooperation with Indonesia during this ongoing Indonesia-Africa Summit.
We would also like to see more African students studying science and technology in Indonesia and working with innovative Indonesian startups. Finally, our coordination in multilateral settings must be enhanced, particularly in climate change and trade negotiations.
This year's summit will focus on the theme of bonding spirit for Africa's Agenda 2063, and we invite high-level government officials, prominent business leaders, esteemed academicians, and other influential stakeholders to exchange ideas, establish concrete economic cooperation, and expand business networks. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the details. Now to the judicial sector. Rwanda was ranked first in Africa and 41st globally in the Rule of Law Index by the World Justice Project. This is one of the remarkable achievements of the previous judicial year, as stressed on this Monday during the launch of the 2024-2025 new judicial year. Prince Manzi with the details.
In 2023, the World Justice Project Rule of Law Index, conducted in 142 countries, ranked Rwanda as first in Africa and 41st globally. The Justice Minister, Dr. Emmanuel Girashebuja, affirms that this is a remarkable achievement, but no time for the sector personnel to be reluctant.
iyi mibare nari maze kuvuga ni myiza kandi dukwiye no kuyishimira.
The statistics I have just elaborated are good and we should be proud, but as we know as Rwandans, we celebrate while thinking if there was now other ways that can be done to achieve more. Globally, we are the 41st. We have to think of what those in higher ranks are doing to achieve it, and if we were able to achieve this in the previous year, as we are aware of our ability. The Prosecutor General, Angelique Habyarimana, affirms that the performance of the judicial sector cannot be efficient without monitoring the conduct of the personnel needs, hence affirming that measures were taken to avoid improper behaviors such as corruption.
Aka kazi dukora tuzi neza ko katagenda uko bikwiye tudakurikiranye bugufi imyitwarire y'abagakora.
This job that we do, we are aware that it cannot be efficient without monitoring the behaviors of the personnel. Corruption is intolerable, and those taking part in it are punished heavily. This is why the Prosecutor General investigated 5 personnel due to their improper behaviors. 2 were dismissed, and currently the rest were imprisoned. We will continue to enhance technology that fastens service delivery.
In the year 2023-2024, the National Public Prosecution Authority received 90,493 cases. Of these, 90,079 cases were processed, to which 99.5% were decided. While officiating the launch of the 2024-2025 judicial year, the Chief Justice, Dr. Faustin Neziryayo, reiterated that a lot has been done in the previous judicial year to serve efficient justice to Rwandans. The Chief Justice reiterates on where to foster in the 2024-2025 judicial year.
Mu rwego rwo gushakira umuti urambye ibibazo bigaragara mu mitangire y'ubutabera.
For sustainably addressing issues found in justice delivery, the judicial sector has established the Judicial Career Development Policy, approved by the High Council of the Judiciary, followed by discussing it with other various levels. The discussion is still ongoing to enhance this policy towards its implementation.
Ubutegetsi bw'ubucamanza bugomba kugira ubushobozi.
61,610 people were prosecuted in the 2023-2024 judicial year. Of these, 29,559, accounting for 48%, were prosecuted while in custody. 32,051 people, accounting for 52%, were prosecuted while on bail. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince, for the details. Now to agricultural matters. Researchers and agricultural experts emphasize the need for stronger collaboration among relevant institutions to prioritize farmers' interests by eliminating the obstacles that hinder production. The Africa Food Systems Forum, a 5-day event in Kigali, highlights addressing the challenges faced by farmers as a key focus on its discussion. We have details. On the first day of the Africa Food Systems Forum 2024, which focuses on agricultural development and value addition, discussions centered on how to drive innovation within the sector, drawing parallels to advancement in other fields. Participants explored ways to enhance agricultural value and create jobs through these innovations. Simone Sala, Director of Global Soil and Ecosystem Solutions at Varda, an agriculture tech data service provider, emphasized that agricultural development is achievable only when farmers are equipped with sufficient knowledge and skills.
Well, let's say the first one that comes to my mind is finance. There is a lot of resources that should go to the farm and unfortunately doesn't land there. There's so little finance dedicated to the farm and food sector, and we need much more. This is one of the first challenges which are affecting particularly farmers and those working with farmers, that we need more and more resources to be able to improve the way they farm in a sustainable way for everyone. Farmers are the custodian of soil health, and they know much better than anyone how to improve improve soil health and manage better. The problem is that they need support to do so. You cannot ask too many things to farmers. You cannot ask them to farm more and produce more while at the same time taking care of sustainability. You need to empower them, and one of the way you do that is providing tools like digital tools, digital information, extension services through which they can expand their practices, improve their practices, and take care of their soil as much and as well as they would like to do.
Additionally, researchers in the field of agriculture stress that effective agricultural policies must prioritize the interests of producers, as securing investment funds is often challenging.
So the main challenge around soil health for most smallholder farmers and people in agriculture is access to knowledge about soil health, and also knowledge about the importance of soil analysis and utilizing recommendations that are tailored to their soil data before they purchase inputs such as fertilizers and also other crops and seedlings that they should plant on their soil. And it's a very big challenge in that because they do not know, then they do not do, right? So another issue that they have is adoption of technologies, because they tend to find this to be a bit expensive. And the reason that the technologies are expensive is because in development of the said technologies, we do not have incentivization by government or policies that foster innovation that would allow our technology to be more affordable for the farmers. When you move along, utilization of data, so we have a very closed data channel in sciences and in agriculture as well. Everybody gets their data and hides it. So if we could have more collaboration and people having more open data access, then more people could then utilize this data to make the technologies more accessible.
From Monday through Friday, a conference in Kigali will gather experts, researchers, private sector leaders, policymakers, and other stakeholders in the agriculture sector. According to the organizers, the event will focus on identifying and addressing the challenges that threaten Africa's agriculture sector.
So many people are coming with a service, with product, with technologies, with ideas. So it's good for a certain moment of the year to stop as you are in action, to reflect, meet others, and grow your network and move. It's also good to meet businesses. So businesses are coming, investors, because you're looking for financing. And by the way, for this year, our deal room, which bring MSMEs that are looking for financing, will be set in a different way, depending on the ticket size you look, whether it is small, big, medium. So we have also interest from those who are financing that one. So and lastly, we are all meeting here because there is also knowledge to share. Research. Agricultural sector, agri-food system cannot transform without also research. We need to find the best innovative solution, the best ideas for policy, but for program, for technology. So research is also here, to share the knowledge product they've been producing throughout the year, which can help countries also. So those are the big outcomes which we are expecting.
Agriculture provides approximately 70% of jobs across the African continent and contributes around 40% of the GDP of African countries. Therefore, investing in the development of this sector is crucial for enhancing the continent's overall economy. To more news, children representing their peers from various sectors and districts gathered at the University of Rwanda, Huye campus, for the 17th National Children's Council. They view this platform as an opportunity to share ideas and contribute to initiatives focused on their development. Take a look at the details. At the University of Rwanda's stadium in Huye, over 2,000 children representing 416 sectors and 30 districts across the country gathered for the 17th National Children's Council under the theme "Tomorrow is Me." The children expressed that this platform is of great importance as it allows them to meet with various leaders, share their ideas, and voice their concerns. Such a conference allows us to express ideas related to what can be done so as we can develop ourselves. Additionally, it allows us to contribute to what is done for us. It helps us to express ourselves and share the ideas we have to our leaders, since in such conferences we get the opportunity to meet them and we speak of ourselves, but also on behalf of our peers in our respective districts. Assumpta Ingabire, the Director General of the National Child Development Agency, highlighted that the Council also serves as a platform to teach children Rwandan values. Some of the initiatives we have in place in regards to children or programs we have as a country comes from the ideas that they share with us. They tell us some of the challenges and problems that are in the community, such as children who have dropped out from school, or children with malnutrition, or those with conflicts in families that doesn't allow parents to take care of their children, or parents that are alcoholic. And based on this, sometimes while developing programs and initiatives, we also consider their ideas, what they want, and this is also to show them that their contribution is worth in developing programs aiming at their development. The Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, Console Uwimana, reminded the children attending the council that while their needs are important, they must also prioritize cultivating good manners. For your dreams to come true, there is what you require, but there is also what is required from you. And most of what is required from you, you know it already, and you have mentioned it, which includes avoiding alcohol consumption and drugs. You're also required to study hard and also revise your lessons. We also urge you to be characterized by discipline and be exemplary in your families, at schools, and in your respective communities where you live. Particularly, those who are in adolescent age, please abstain from those who want to distract you. The 17th National Children's Council brought together around 2,000 children and resulted in 5 key resolutions. The Council emphasized the importance of parental involvement, urging parents to spend time talking with their children. It also highlighted the need to support children with disabilities by training teachers in sign language to assist those with hearing and speech impairments. Additionally, the Council resolved to help street children by facilitating their return to families and schools. Another resolution focused on promoting talent development by providing equipment and coaches to help children enhance their skills. Lastly, the Council advocated for healthy nutrition, encouraging parents to provide a diet that supports proper growth. Now to Health Matters, a conference on vaccines and their use is being held concurrently in Kigali, Rwanda, in South Korea and in Sweden. Participants from Rwanda and other regions have expressed that the conference will greatly benefit their research efforts and enhance public health preservation. Enora Gladys with details.
Day intensive training program, a themed vaccine to vaccination, from science to society, will explore the fundamentals of vaccinology and this process of creating vaccines, how they are developed, tested, regulated, and approved, while emphasizing their ultimate purpose, vaccination. Key topics will address overcoming challenges to vaccine use, shaping vaccine markets, ensuring a sustainable supply, and maintaining public confidence in vaccines. Building on last year's successful connection between Seoul and Stockholm, this year's course will link 3 different locations: IVI headquarters in Seoul, Kigali, Rwanda, co-hosted by the University of Rwanda, and Stockholm in Sweden. The course will bring together 81 nationalities across the 3 sites, with approximately 100 participants joining from Kigali. Dr. Ella Lahisandorinkimhaye and Brian Njoni Moyukani are participants of this conference. They say that this conference and courses is going to be very helpful to them in their research, more of concerning the vaccination.
It's one step. It's an additional step from what we have as a basic data that we have, and from here now we'll be able to at least advance and actually even know what others are doing, because it's a course that's happening either in Stockholm and Seoul, so it's a great opportunity to just learn what people are doing concerning the vaccines, and see if at least we can establish some collaborations as well.
It's a good opportunity for this. This is the first conference happening in Africa, so it's a very good opportunity for now the African continent to just leverage on this and expand its knowledge on vaccinology, vaccine development, and for the prevention of diseases. Of course, historically the vaccines are important in disease prevention. So this it provides a platform for immunologists or all stakeholders in this space. just to participate and get to learn more from other countries, people from other spaces, and just eventually lead to the journey from now the vaccine to vaccination itself.
The leader organizer and course facilitator in the Regional Center of Excellence in this conference, Dr. Nyangwi Jean-Baptiste, explains that they specifically aims to increase the knowledge of Rwandan and African students who are involved in medicine and research.
Upskilling Rwandans, and the Rwandans are attending as well, but we reserved a special attendance, a special consideration for students from the University of Rwanda who are attending here. So we have quite a big number of students who are attending, who are running from the peers and the researchers, academicians, scientists in the field of vaccine and vaccine manufacturing.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, Ndikumana Raymond, insists that their students have enough capacity to carry out research related to what they are being trained in.
There are so many initiatives in Rwanda that are happening in Rwanda when it comes to vaccine production, also knowledge increasing capacity in vaccine. So our students, actually some of these courses are mandatory. They need to understand and they need to know. So we believe we could not have any other partner better than IVI, which for many years has been an expert in this area, so to give us this knowledge. So definitely we need it, because there is the BioNTech, there is a different initiative all towards the vaccine production in Rwanda.
Deputy Director General of International Vaccine Institute, which is one of the organizations that organized this training, Mrs. Anna Walter, says that their goal is to provide quality vaccine.
Main activities of this office is also to help us, establish a relationship with the stakeholders on the continent, stakeholders engagement, and also training. It will be the hub for training for our regional office in Africa. Whereas in Kenya, the scope will be different. It's a country office, but they will be much more involved in, advancing vaccine end-to-end capability projects, meaning managing projects through Kenya, of course, working with different stakeholders in Kenya, Rwanda, and beyond those countries with the continent.
This is the 23rd conference that has been held worldwide. Previously, it was held only in Seoul, in South Korea, and now it is being held in 3 places at the same time. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Inora, for the details. Now to environmental matters. Carlos Manuel Rodriguez, the Chief Executive Officer of the Global Environment Facility, expressed his appreciation for Rwanda's efforts in environmental conservation. He commended the country for its effective use of natural resources and its strategic plans to address climate change, highlighting Rwanda's commitment to sustainability.
Indeed, one of the most successful countries that we work with is Rwanda. First, they're able to access and use the resources that we have available for them. Believe it or not, this is one of the big challenges that we're confronted with many countries. We got the resources, but the country doesn't have the capacities to present the projects, to implement and execute. So Rwanda is on the top with regards to access and using the resources. The second element it has to do with impact and results. And as we see the assessment, the third-party assessment of what we do, Rwanda always comes very high in terms of effectiveness. What we probably need to look deeper has to do with the sustainability element. We do an investment. We try to restore a watershed in the capital city, and we do an investment for 5 years. We want to see what happens in year 15, in year 20. But this is a very interesting challenge. I will say in a very straightforward manner, Rwanda is a very good example on how countries should be using our resources.
Juliet Kabera, the Director General of the Rwanda Environment Management Authority, affirmed that the support provided by the Global Environment Facility has enabled the successful implementation of several green projects in Rwanda. She noted that these projects have had a significant impact on the country's development, furthering Rwanda's environmental and sustainability goals.
The contribution can be multifaceted because also the projects are integrated. But if I take an example of protected areas where we had, where we now have the Gishwati Mukura National Park, which was only gazetted during the implementation of a JEF-funded project, that is a direct contribution to the tourism sector. And obviously this adds to the GDP, but we also have contribution from other sectors like the agriculture sector, where we are working to boost the productivity of the soil, which was being degraded because of the biodiversity loss.
You're still watching RTV News in English. Now to matters making headlines globally. The African Partners Media event organized by China Media Group was held in Beijing on over the weekend. We have the details courtesy of CCTV.
Titled with A Civilian Symphony and the Digital Dream Builder African Partners Media Campaign, the event is to deepen media exchanges and cooperation between China and Africa while enhancing cultural exchange and mutual learning in the digital era. The President of the Central African Republic, Faustin Archange Touadera, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, and Seychelles President Waval Ramkalawan sent video messages saying they were willing to see closer media exchanges between China and Africa with deepened practical cooperation. Attendees said that under the strategic guidance of President Xi Jinping and African leaders, China-Africa relations have entered a new stage of building a high-level China-Africa community with a shared future. The 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation is set to start in Beijing on Wednesday, which is expected to open up new horizons for developing China-Africa relations and write a new chapter in building a China-Africa community with a shared future. Attendees agree that media is a crucial platform for promoting cultural exchange and mutual understanding, playing a unique role in fostering connections between peoples. At the event, a documentary titled Close Friends Across Continents was released. The documentary, produced by CMG, presents in a panoramic manner the achievements of China-Africa cooperation in science, technology, economy, and humanity exchange. It vividly records stories of mutual benefit and win-win outcomes between China and Africa, reflecting the common aspirations of the people and the mutual learning of civilizations. The documentary will be aired on CCTV4 and CGTN, as well as on mainstream media and websites in many African countries during the FOCA summit. It is expected to reach 54 African countries with an audience of 1.4 billion people. 2 media coverage activities were also launched at the event, showcasing the best of both civilizations, screening of Chinese and African films, and cycling to China. Additionally, the China Media Group Institute released 2 reports on China-Africa cooperation on the same day. CMG also launched an initiative in collaboration with 64 mainstream African media outlets in 25 African countries. The initiative advocates for establishing a high-quality media partnership between China and Africa and seeks to objectively and fairly represent the voices of Global South countries so as to build a high-level community and shared destiny between China and Africa. The event was attended by more than 200 representatives from international organizations, media, think tanks, and other fields from China and more than 20 African countries.
And the story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin, but before we leave, a reminder of our top stories. President Kagame reaffirmed Rwanda's commitment to deepening ties with Indonesia at Indonesia-Africa Summit. Rwanda tops Africa and ranks 41st globally in Rule of Law Index achievement highlighted at 2024-2025 judiciary launch. On the international scene, the African Partners Media event organized by the China Media Group was held in Beijing on over the weekend. On behalf of the technical and news production team, we sincerely appreciate your presence during tonight's broadcast. Have a wonderful and productive week ahead. Goodbye.